Concept Videosports.com presents Northwest Indiana High School girls basketball. This evening from Hanover Central High School in Cedar Lake, it's the championship game of the Hanover Central Winter Wildcat Classic, featuring the Hanover Central Lady Wildcats and the Knox Lady Redskins. This game is being made possible by the fine people at Oak Partners Wealth and Retirement Management in Crown Point and Valparaiso, Blythe's Athletics in Valparaiso and Griffith, the Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio Regional Council of Carpenters and Millwrights, Dr. Mullally, and the Indiana Sports and Medical Science Institute in Crown Point. And supporting the 2012 Hanover Central Winter Classic, Easy Life Storage in Crown Point. Store and protect your belongings in climate-controlled storage. Give them a call today at 663-7870 or on the web at easylifestorage.com. Surprising to some but not to others, Dan Huizenga's Knox Lady Redskins are here this evening by defeating the previously undefeated Whiting Oilers and the winners of 7, the Griffith Panthers. This team came into the tournament with a deceiving record of 1-10, having played state powers Northridge, Triton, and Oregon Davis, and not to mention teams like Kankakee Valley and Plymouth. Doug Nelson's Lady Wildcats come into this tournament 6-3, with wins over Hammond, Morton, and Wheeler in the first 2 rounds. But they'll have their hands full this evening trying to keep the Knox Redskins at bay, without 2 of their top 5 threats, in Blair Poston and Riley Singleton, who are both sidelined with recent injuries. Next, Northwest Indiana Girls High School basketball. But first, a quick word from tonight's coaches.
I have head coach with me, Dan Huizenga, head coach for the Knox Redskins. Coach, you're in the final game of this holiday tournament here in Hanover Central. I don't think too many people expect you to be here with a 1-10 record coming into this. How did you pull off, especially that big upset over Whiting?
We just did what we do. I mean, we came out and we wanted to make Whiting hit shots early, and they hit enough shots early to make us change what we wanted to do defensively. But I mean, we came to play defensively, and especially those last 3 quarters, and we took away what they wanted to do. We took care of the basketball and we hit shots, which we hadn't done for a long time.
There has to be certainly, like I say, a confidence booster to the girls going into this, and probably got to help them, if anything, in this final game against Hanover Central.
Oh yeah, the one thing we always tell our kids is our first half-year schedule prepares us for the second half. I mean, we go out. We've played Northridge and Plymouth and Noblesville and OD and Triton, and so we've played 6 or 7 ranked teams typically by the time we get here. And when we played 6 of them in a span of 10 games, you're going to be ready to play the good teams that are here. And it's a great field. It's relatively balanced every year. One thing you don't see here is a lot of blowouts, and that's one of the reasons we like coming here. And it does prepare us for the second half of the year.
I have with me head coach Doug Nelson of the Hanover Lady Wildcats, the host team of this holiday tournament. Coach, you're in the finals. Exposure to all the fans here. It's certainly a team that you're playing. This Knox team was expected to be in the finals. What do you expect from them tonight?
Well, of course, if they're coached by Dan, they're good. They're fundamentally sound. They're going to be ready to play. He always has them prepared to work. We got to be ready to play some defense and match up and try to limit their shots.
So how do you make up for a player like Blair Poston's caliber to lose her? And
you don't. We just have to have. We've had other people step up. For example, yesterday, our first game, Hannah Blue had 20. The next game, somebody else stepped up and scored. So, we're going to be okay. We just have to match up and execute our plan.
The ball was tipped out of bounds to open this championship game and was awarded to the home team. On Hanover Central's first offensive opportunity, Frankie Turturio quickly fed Hannah Blue in the paint. She took one dribble, turned, then dropped it in for the first points of this ballgame. Just as quickly for the Knox Redskins off the inbound from underneath their own basket. Nikki Frazier corralled the missed 3-point attempt, missed her putback, but was able to rebound her own missed shot. Then she dropped it in, tying the score. Following a one-and-done at the central end of the court, the Lady Redskins were in possession. Sarah Code took the pass out on top and drove to the hoop where she was fouled. She'll head to the stripe where she converted on 1 of 2. On Hanover Central's next trip up court, Tiffany Ward took a Kristen Roper pass and quietly splashed in a tray, giving the Central Wildcats the lead. A Redskins turnover gave the ball right back to the Wildcats, and this time it was Kristen Roper getting the ball at the stripe, then taking it to the hole where she was fouled, and will have a pair from the line where she converted on one of two. On the Redskins' next trip, Miranda Shepard drove to the paint, then kicked it out to Nikki Frazier, who fired up her tray that was short of the mark. But on the attempt, she was fouled and will head to the stripe where she made 2 of 3. Then after a one and done at the Hanover end of the court, Knox moved the ball up quickly when Miranda Shepard took the pass at the top of the key, then locked in on the basket and a 2-point Redskin lead. Following a 2.5-minute scoring drought in this first quarter, Kristen Roper took the pass, then drove the lane and was fouled, and she'll head back to the line where she made 1 of 2. Then, with a minute remaining, Knox Nikki Frazier was a little strong on the tray, but Rachel Lennox saved the loose ball to Caitlin Zachary, and she was fouled on the shot. Caitlin dropped in 1 of 2 attempts. Finally, with 2.5 seconds remaining, the Central Lady Wildcats will have the final shot. After 1, the Knox Lady Redskins lead by a pair. The first score of the second quarter came at the 6:40 mark when off an Alyssa Howard rebound, the Hanover Central Lady Wildcats were on the move when Frankie Tortorillo found Danielle Schwalm, who faced the basket, then dropped it in. Following turnovers at each end of the court, the Lady Wildcats were on the prowl again, and with some nice ball movement, Central was able to get the ball down low to Hannah Blue, where she was fouled and will head to the stripe. The Knox Lady Redskins made a defensive stop when Sarah Code and Caitlin Zachary trapped the ball. Then on the pass attempt, Zachary made the steal and the basket. Answering quickly at the other end was Wildcat Summer Pattison with a long 2-pointer from just inside the 3-point line. But right back, doing it herself, Sarah Code took it all the way to the hoop, splitting 3 defenders, and Knox is back on top. Then on Hanover Central's next possession off the inbound, Frankie Tortorillo received the ball out on top, dribbled left to right, then she let the 3-pointer fly, and nothing but net. With the hosts leading by a pair and a lull in the action, it wasn't until Kristen Roper took the pass in the paint and was fouled on the shot. But on Knox's next possession, Nikki Frazier got those 2 free throws back when she beat her defender, then drove to the hoop where she was fouled. On Hanover Central's next offensive set, Frankie Tortorillo got the ball into the post to Hannah Blue, who drew 3 defenders. She quickly got it out to Tiffany Ward, who was all alone, and she knocked down a 3-pointer and a 5-point Wildcat lead. Following an unforced Knox turnover, the Cats were in possession, And giving Central another offensive chance was Hannah Blue on the rebound and putback, where she was fouled on the shot and will have the opportunity to give the host team their largest lead. Cutting that lead down to 5, Nikki Frazier got the roll as she dropped one in from 17 feet. Redskin Tori Elliott was fouled on the defensive end of the court and was shooting the first of a one and bonus. But off the missed shot, Caitlin Zachary was fouled on the rebound and putback, and she'll have the opportunity to cut into the Central lead. But on Zachary's missed second attempt, Chelsea Collins grabbed the rebound, then dropped it in, and the lead is now down to 2. Then with time running out of the half, Miranda Shepard drove the right side of the lane, then laid it in. With 1:05 left in the second quarter, the Hanover Central Wildcats had a 7-point lead. At halftime, we're tied at 23. This game is being made possible by the fine people at Oak Partners Wealth and Retirement Management in Crown Point and Valparaiso, Blythe's Athletics in Valparaiso and Griffith, the Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio Regional Council of Carpenters in Millwrights, Dr. Mullally and the Indiana Sports and Medical Science Institute in Crown Point. And for climate-controlled storage, it's Easy Life Storage in Crown Point. Prices starting at just $49. The Lady Redskins wasted little time recapturing the lead when on their first offensive opportunity of the third period, Nikki Frazier locked in on a tray, and all of a sudden, Knox leads by 3. Hanover got one of those points back when Kristen Roper took the pass in the paint and was fouled on the attempt. After several uneventful trips up and down the court by each team, it was Frankie Tortorillo's turn at the stripe, and she can tie up this game with a couple of free throws. With the score tied at 26 off the inbound from underneath their own basket, Knox Nikki Frazier bounced the ball off the back of the Hanover defender, then was able to get off the shot that was wide of the mark. But Caitlin Zachary was there for the rebound and putback, and was fouled and will head to the line where she converted on 1 of 2. Leading by the slimmest of margins, the Knox Lady Redskins had the ball out again from under their own hoop, when Caitlin Zachary took the pass at the right baseline, then connected on a 10-footer, extending the lead to 3. But the Central Lady Wildcats tied the game up quickly when Alyssa Howard, without hesitation, fired in a three-pointer from the top of the key, and we're knotted at 29. Then with the ball out from the side, Nikki Frazier gave the Redskins 2 more offensive chances with rebounds and putbacks, and was finally fouled, and she'll head to the charity stripe. Next, it was Hanover's turn in this game of free throws when Kristen Roper was fouled at the hoop, and she'll go to the line for 2 more to try to tie up this game. Following a free throw by Kristen Roper and Hannah Blue, the Hanover Central Wildcats had a 2-point lead. But on the Redskins' next possession, Sarah Code quickly got it to Tori Elliott, and again, we're tied at 33. After a missed free throw attempt by Knox with 8 seconds left, Kristen Roper grabbed the rebound, then fired it down court to an open Tiffany Ward, who laid it in. And after 3, the Hanover Central Wildcats lead by a deuce. The Knox Lady Redskins drew first blood in this final period when Tori Elliott took the pass, then immediately drove to the paint and laid it in, and we're tied again. Then at the 6:26 mark, Miranda Shepard put the Lady Redskins in front, driving the lane, then floating up a teardrop and the basket. Then on the Wildcats' next offensive opportunity, an ill-advised pass that Nikki Frazier was able to pick out of the air, and she took it the distance and was fouled on the shot, and she will have a chance to extend the Redskins' lead. Two Nikki Frazier bonus free throws gave Knox a 6-point lead, but on Hanover's next possession, with her toe on the line, Summer Pattison nailed a long 2, and the Wildcats are back within 4. Following another Frazier free throw that gave Knox a 5-point lead, Tiffany Ward buried a 2-pointer with 3:47 left, cutting the deficit to a single possession. Still leading by 3, the Knox Lady Redskins had the ball when Tori Elliott found Caitlin Zachary in the paint, who turned, dribbled, then dropped it in. Leading by 5, the Redskins had one of their biggest offensive possessions, and they capitalized. When Nikki Frazier dribbled the ball into the paint, she then dished it off to Miranda Shepard, who turned and found Tori Elliott, and she dropped it in, and a 7-point lead. With Knox Tori Elliott adding another free throw, the Wildcats trailed by 8 and in possession. A quick 2-point hoop by Tiffany Ward and a timeout. With Sarah Code adding another intentional foul free throw, the Cats had the ball with less than 30 seconds left in this championship game, trailing by 7. Then off a scramble for the ball, a foul on Knox, and Nikki Hahn will go to the line, where she made 1 of 2. Time finally ran out in this one, and the team from Knox, Indiana, who entered this tournament with 1 win, will leave this evening with 4. And the Hanover Central Winter Classic Championship Trophy. Next, a quick word from one of today's stars, Nikki Frazier, and head coach Dan Huizenga.
I have Nikki Frazier with me, leading scorer in the game, in the championship game in this Winter Classic. Nikki, congratulations. What did Coach tell you before you came into this game? You had already won 2 games. You had only won 1 all year. You won 2, and now what did he say to get you guys get ready for this game?
Well, first off, he told us if we won the whole thing, he'd go and jump in the lake on the way home. And he told us that we needed to rebound really good and play as a team.
You gonna hold him to that promise about jumping into the lake?
Yeah, he brought clothes and extra socks and everything.
Well, you had 18 points between you and Caitlin Zachary, who also is a leader on this team. You're a senior, and as she is, this will be the last time you'd be in this tournament. It's got to feel pretty good to win this tournament. 3 straight wins for you.
Yeah, it does. Feels so great.
What about from here on out? What do you take from this winning 3 games in a row? Obviously, you had only won 1 this year, but you have a tough schedule. And by winning this tournament, how does that get you going forward now for the rest of the season?
I think the rest of the season is going to look so much better, and that we've learned to play as a team and not as individuals.
Congratulations. Nice game.
Thank you.
I have with me Dan Huizenga, head coach of the Knox team that just pulled off you might say an upset, winning 3 straight games here. Coach, you had only won 1 all season. Got to make you feel pretty good and proud of this team.
Oh yeah, I mean, we couldn't be prouder of them. You know, we knew all along that we were capable of playing some good basketball. You know, like I told you before the game, we played well for halves, we played well for quarters here, quarters there. We just hadn't put 4 quarters together in the whole game, and luckily this week we put 12 good quarters of basketball together, and hopefully we can take that as a springboard for the rest of the year.
A lot of momentum now going into the last leg of the season.
Yeah, you know, and it shows them what they're capable of doing. And, you know, hopefully we can use this and say, hey, this is if we come out and play well, you know, a lot of good things are happening. You know, we come in, we end up with Whiting News 11-0. Griffith was 8-3. I think Hanover was 8-3 coming into tonight's game. So we can go and play well against good teams. And, you know, they needed to prove that to themselves. I mean, the coaching staff all knew it. They just need to prove to themselves that they're capable of playing good basketball against good teams.
I hear you got have a promise that you have to hold about jumping in the lake or something like that after this game.
It's 32-degree water is ever going to feel so good.
Like a polar bear, maybe?
It could be a polar bear plunge. We told them after the Whiting game, they go, what are you going to do if we win? And one of the kids said, jump in the lake. I'm like, you guys win it, I'll jump in the lake on the way home. So we'll see how that goes.
Just don't freeze to death, Coach. Congratulations, a great win. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot.